So today's topic is about self-love, self-care. And the first question I wanted to everybody to think about is, if your self-love could talk, what would it say?
Ooh.
Good question.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Love me more.
Ooh.
What is that?
That's good.
Abundance.
That's good. There's so many things running through my head right now. If my self-love can talk, it might on some days say, "Where are you?" Yeah, it might some days say, "Where are you?"
And what does that mean to you when you can assign a question or a word to your self-love? What's missing, perhaps?
Patience.
Time.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a priority for me. So I would say abundance.
And would you say that what would be some of the things that you could do more of now that you feel like you don't do outside of, just the word time? What does that look like?
So I think my self-love now looks different than what it used to look like, because I'm always on the road. So self-love for me, for example, one of the things that I do to take care of myself when I'm traveling is I have one night out of the week, if I'm gone for 3 or 4 days, I have one night of the week where it's just me. So that I'm already exerting my energy during the day, and now to give all my energy away to people at night, that's for 3 straight days in a row or 3 straight nights. That's really a challenge, even though I'm totally extroverted. So I could do that. Right. It excites me, but still it also weighs on me too. And so my self-love now looks different because when I'm home, I can lay on the sofa and watch Netflix or read a book or go to the spa or something. But when I'm traveling, I can't always do those things. So trying to figure out, how do I continue to love myself even when I'm traveling, including being able to go work out so that I can take good care of my body, being able to eat the right food so that I have the energy and the strength to be able to do the things that I need to do when I'm traveling. So I think, when I say time, it's just because my time is so, there's so many things and people vying for my time. And so I have to be very mindful of, this is about you and that's okay. And to be able to find the time at home as well as when I'm traveling just for me and be okay with that.
Yes. That's because the very nature of the society that we live in is extremely demanding. Yeah. It's demanding on every facet of who you are. If you're not feeling well, you got to go to work because Duke wants your money, and Verizon wants your money, and the car insurance wants your money, and the tax man wants your money, the mortgage man wants your money. So there's not a lot of room. Our society doesn't foster self-love, as although it shows you images of what it may look like, it's a fantastic image. A lot of times you can identify self-love. I used to identify self-love as pampering, and that's where it started. But that's not where it stops for me. It's having a voice, using my voice is self-love for me today. So saying what I need, when I need it, how I need it is self-love, because I wasn't taught to do that.
Well, and to your point of being okay with it and not explaining why you need it to anybody.
Yes,
like, just because I'm saying no, I don't have to explain to you why I'm saying no.
Unapologetically.
Yes, unapologetically, yes.
But I've come to the place I don't mind explaining, because I understand that one gets delivered to help deliver another. So I don't mind explaining. I know I don't have to explain. But I don't mind explaining, because maybe you can glean something off of my explanation. Maybe there could be a revelation for you to pass that on to someone else. So I don't mind, but I don't have to.
Right.
And knowing that difference is empowering.
When you said time, it made me think about as different roles as I'm a wife, I'm a mom, and I'm trying to work all in one day.
One day.
And so it's like I put myself on the back burner, and by the end of the day, I'm tired. I'm done. Let's go to sleep so we can start this all over again.
Yeah.
So I know I should engage more in self-love and self-care, but it's like right now I don't think I have the time. Going to get a pedicure, which I've been trying to do all week, still have not done it. That's like, okay, that's my big thing that I need to do. Still haven't done it.
Well, my point of view is, like I said before, abundance for me. I made a choice years ago to be intentional. And I feel like we as women, we are always nurturing others, giving of ourselves. And if we want to continue to give of ourselves, we have to put back in
That's right.
to ourselves.
That's right.
And I wouldn't say for me that self-love is just pampering. I would say that is personal development. It's reading. It's quiet time. Just listening to the still voice. It's walking in a garden.
Yeah.
And just having that zen time so that I don't go in the house and just go off.
Even as a measurement check.
You gotta tell somebody something.
It's time for me to
I don't know what a milk is.
Whoa, what's wrong with her?
Yeah, she's keeping it real. But I was fortunate enough to grow up in humble beginnings where, you know, we didn't have it all. My mom worked several jobs, and just watching her be a go-getter, and she made sure she put us around other professional women in the church so we can learn to fear God, and just watching them coming from pretty much nothing and watching professional people, I kind of learned from their mistakes and learned from their highlights or their wins.
Right.
And so that's why I just incorporated that into my day-to-day.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's good. We can be an example of what it looks like, and but as a mom, still taking care of a son who's 28, which is why I had to come later, watch him on the camera, make sure all is well. We fail to teach people how to treat us. We fail to do that because we didn't watch mom teach anybody how to. It was carved out already that you're supposed to be everything to everybody.
Exactly.
But in the biblical times, they had help. They had somebody going to get the goat, kill the goat, clean the goat, nurse the baby. They had help.
Yeah.
And that help has weaned down. It's weaned out of the society. And so now one person takes on. There's no way that one person can handle everybody. It's just unrealistic. So taking that unrealistic expectation off myself, that the house has to be clean from the rooter to the tutor.
Right.
The refrigerator has to be filled with everything that's needed, and all the meals are prepped for the week. Listen here, eat a sandwich. Eat a sandwich. Have some water. You'll be fine. You will survive.
I agree. They had more community.
Yes.
More community.
Yes.
Yeah, that feeling of.
Yeah, there was time to chat around coffee and tea and talk about what the husbands weren't doing. Or there was time to. My mother had nothing that I have today. No microwave, no cell phone, no vehicle, no bank account, no wash machine, no dryer, and she found time with a clean house, behaved children to fellowship with her sisters on the stoop.
She made it a priority.
Well, no, they were just not as consumed with something that we are consumed with.
Yeah.
In this generation, we're consumed with an invisible interruption. We are consumed by something, and there's just like you have to break away from something to get here.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like there's 10 things you need to do right now. Like,
Well, I think too, I know my mom, and I get this from my mother, so I'm proud when I'm able to travel all week and come home and I can still clean the house and prepare some stuff for friends to come over and that kind of thing. And now I realize I was traveling like back to back to back for like 2 or 3 weeks, and my bedroom was not cleaned for weeks. And I would have never, ever done that. But I was like, it's okay.
proud moment.
I'm like, why am I so concerned about the way that my bedroom looks? Nobody is in it, so why am I concerned? Nobody has a camera looking at my bedroom saying, oh my gosh, Andora, shame on you. And neither is my mother. But it's one of those things, we do get some of our things from our mother, because my mother never leaves dishes in the sink. I never leave dishes in the sink. So you get a lot of those things, and you have to let go and say, it's okay if I have dishes in the sink. It's okay if my bedroom is a little messy for the next couple days or couple weeks or whatever the time frame, because I'd rather rest and take care of me
Yes.
than focus on cleaning that room because it's going to take some time. So I think a lot of times we as women, we feel really proud of, oh, look at all the things that I can juggle and throw up in the air.
Yes.
Look at what I've done. I'm so proud of that.
And screaming on the inside.
And screaming on the inside.
Somebody help me. Please help me. I need some. I said I need an assistant.
Yeah.
I don't even have enough money to pay you, but I need an assistant.
But you just made me think about this week. Like, I was so proud of myself because I cooked like 3 days this week, and it was enough food for the whole week.
Yeah.
But as I sit back and think about it, I was tired afterwards because I still had to cook, clean, homework, get the kids ready. Like, it was still a lot of things, but it's like,
That's what we do.
yeah, it's like, it's what we do. And I didn't think about sitting down and getting time for myself, but sit down was when I sat down and I ate my dinner.
Thinking about what else. For me,
Mm-hmm.
learning how to rein my mind in is self-love. And be present right now is self-love. And not be meal prepping, and not be folding the laundry, and not be writing my next workshop, and not that's self-love for me, because trying to play catch up and all the things that you feel like you need to do and you need to accomplish, and God forbid if you know your purpose, help us all.
Yes.
If you know purpose,
Oh,
now
wow.
you just need to expand it all tomorrow.
Yeah.
So just learning how to be ever present. I used to teach my children. I have 4 boys, and I used to teach them young. I got the inkling to teach them young. We were standing in the living room one day, and I was still smoking my cigarettes, and and I had my broom in my hand, and I called them around me, and I started to introduce them to my humanity early, so that they would get the vision. So I could come off the pedestal that children put their parents on naturally, and so they could see the humanity in me and say, well, Mommy's not having a bad day. Well, let me see what I can do to help. And now they're all 3 men that have relationships where they'll step up because they don't expect her to do everything.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to teach people that I'm like, ouch, I hurt too. And we can, especially in our community, we carry so much weight.
Yes.
I call it, I like to be in a flow. I like to feel like a river flowing down, mountain. I don't want to be swimming upstream and stressing and feel like I'm about to fall. Everything needs to flow. If it doesn't feel like a flow, it's not going to go.
Yeah.
I know.
I can put it
Yeah.
on schedule for tomorrow, another
for you.
day, but
Yeah.
I need to be in a flow. And, of course, I do vision board workshops, so Zen is one of the words on my vision board, and I look at it every morning when I wake up, before I go to sleep, and that's my state of mind, to be in Zen, and to be in a flow of things. Because like you said, we have so many images coming at us, and propaganda telling us we have to look like this, be like this. We have to cook every day. We have to do this, and and we have to tell ourselves, you have to be who you are.
That's
Yes.
right.
And there's only one
That's
of
right.
you.
That's right. That's right.
God only made one of you.
That's
You're
right.
an original.
Exactly. Well, and
Do
I
it
think
your way.
as entrepreneurs, we have, like when I became an entrepreneur, I realized how much more self-care was because of the fact that you're giving yourself, no one's telling you to stop. Like you can literally go on for days and days and days of just doing work.
And if you look at the post, they encourage you. Entrepreneurs
Exactly.
don't sleep.
Don't sleep.
3 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
You ain't
I'm not that
Just
person.
said
You ain't no entrepreneur if you sleep. The devil is a lie.
I know. I must not be one because I literally can't
I'll get
sleep
some
for sure.
rest. I'm just saying.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that you almost have to do it even more. You have to be more mindful of it when you're an entrepreneur because it's so easy to get caught up in all of that of you don't get sleep, you don't eat, you don't do this and that. And you still have to give, especially if you're doing professional development or if you're doing therapy or whatever work that you're doing, you still have to you're giving to other people. So you're emptying yourself out and giving to others.
Yeah.
And so who's pouring into you?
Exactly.
Especially because sometimes entrepreneurship can be very lonely
Yes.
because you're by yourself a lot. And so you need to be pouring something inside of you so that you actually have something to give.
Exactly.
So I feel like now I'm more focused on self-love and self-care than I've ever been because I know that it's hard. It's harder to get it now than it was before.
Yes.
So how do you know when you're doing it right? What does that look like? What does that feel like when you're doing it right?
I think you just was in my mind because self-love is individualized.
Mm.
It's because you will have some people, you know, I was that girl, let me go ahead and be transparent. I was that girl that thought self-love was just making sure my nails was did. You know, my hair was did, my outfits was coordinated. I love me. You know.
Your outfits are pretty cute.
Right. But that was the brunt of it, and I didn't know that I wasn't loving myself on a deeper level. There was a deeper level of, you know, being in dysfunctional relationships, being in abusive relationships, verbally abusive relationships, being in friendships that weren't reciprocal. You know, that wasn't self-love, but so self-love can go from level to level. I think there's a broadening component to it, depending on where you are, where your beginnings are. So I don't know if there's a right way. I know it might be right for right now, but I never believe that I'm in the epitome of where I'm going to get.
Always
Even if I feel like, well, you know, I'm doing pretty good, I'm saying no, you know, I'm using my voice, I still know there's more. I'm always availing myself to the more that's going to be revealed for me.
I went to a health seminar years ago when I lived in the DC area, and there was a therapist who said, she gave like 7 tips about self-love and self-care. And one of them really resonated with me because she said, when you say no to someone or something, you're saying yes to something else. So you're never saying no.
That's good.
You know, you're never actually saying
That
no
is really
specifically.
good.
You're just saying, you're choosing, you're making a choice about what is most valuable or most important at that particular time. So if you say yes, I don't have kids, but if I had a daughter and she had a dance recital, I'm going to say yes to the dance recital. I'm going to say no to doing this extra work.
Yeah.
So I'm making a choice about because it's all a priority.
That's right.
But I choose to decide what I say yes to. And that really resonated with me. I'm still saying yes, even though I might feel bad about saying no to the other person or the other thing. But I gotta say yes to or sometimes it might be I'm saying yes to myself. I don't have anything to do, but but like you said, of finding another solution for your grandmother. Let me help you find another solution. I'm not able to do it, but here's another solution for you.
I can ask Johnny for you.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe Johnny can do
But
it.
that's awesome. I think a lot of times in our community, we, without intention, we guilt one another. And I don't, you know, if you love me, you would. And it was important for me to teach my children when they were young, when I started to realize love doesn't manipulate. Love, if you love, you want, but I'm your mama. Come, no. Love doesn't put you in chokeholds. Love offers you opportunity. And so I present you the opportunity to serve me if you are able, and if you are unable, I have to love you enough to believe that you made the best decision for yourself.
Exactly.
Learning that for myself is like, oh my gosh, that's been such a challenge. And having to learn it in the isolated place, there was nobody to minister that to me. I had to learn that like straight from the throne. So that was a privilege too.
So I asked myself, how does it look when we're doing it right to a spouse or a loved one? Do they feel valued?
That's good.
So do you feel valued? Do they feel considered? Do they feel like a priority?
Good for you.
Do you feel like a priority?
That's good.
That's
That is real good.
You tell them, oh, you're so handsome.
That's your hair. I'm gonna say no. Yes.
Love that.
You tell your significant other, you know, you may say you're handsome or you're beautiful. Are you telling yourself in the mirror, you are beautiful?
That's good.
So I was just thinking that that's how self-love should look if it's done right to yourself. You should be telling yourself you are beautiful every morning. You are valued. You are loved. You are special. And you should feel
I'm getting better at doing it out loud.
Yeah, me
I feel a
too.
little creepy talking to the lady in the mirror about it.
It's powerful. That's power
But it is.
in speaking
But it
things out
is.
loud.
I am doing it.
Because that's the first principle that the Bible teaches us. When God
Creative
said,
word.
let there
Yeah.
be light.
Yeah.
He didn't just think and look at it. He said it. So it's power in speaking things into the atmosphere. That's what I call it, the atmosphere. There's power in it.
It is. I'm getting better at it.
You know, when I was going through my divorce and I was going through this whole process, on a daily basis, I would wake up and say, how are you doing today? Like a check-in. Okay, how are you today? And that just reminded me of that was a part of self-love, of checking in with myself to say, and to be honest, because some days I wasn't doing so good, and some days I was doing great. And so, and even now sometimes, just because, not from an emotional standpoint, but more so just from a physical exhaustion because of the energy that I exert, I ask myself, are you tired? And I have to say, sometimes I have to say, I am exhausted. Like yesterday, if we had done this yesterday, I would have been able to do it. I was so tired. And so I have to check in, do these check-ins with myself to say, how are you today? Are you tired? What do you need? So, and I think that is a big part of self-love too, because sometimes we're not always honest with ourselves. Even if we stop and pause and say, you know what, I need to sit down and rest. But we don't. We continue to cook dinner or do something else or go visit with friends or something that's not saying that you're taking care of you. And so I think because self-talk is real, talking to yourself to make sure that you're okay. Giving yourself a pep talk, and sometimes I have to say,
because you don't answer back. That's when you talk to a therapist. She's a therapist, everyone. And if you answer, I'm great.
I'm great.
Don't change your voice.
Don't change your voice. You start changing your voice.
Start changing your voice. Oh my God. 1-800.
It's
This is your commercial company.
Right. Oh my gosh. When you said that when you was in the process of divorce, I remember, and I didn't know it was the Holy Spirit then, right? It was always something told me. But I was in the process of divorce, and when I was married, he can choose from which outfit he wanted me to wear at night. Because the married bed is undefiled. And soft things, pretty things, colorful things, lacy things. And so in the process of divorce, I stopped buying that stuff. No more bubble bath, no more all that. And then one day, I was encouraged. No, you still get to wear soft, pretty satin sheets. So you buy some satin sheets that now only you concerned about, and now you buy something pretty and soft. It wasn't going to be the same caliber, but it was still soft. So that reminded me. I started that pretty early. That's so important. Yeah, because I would buy it for him.
Yeah.
But buy it for yourself. What about me?
Well, I think that's a great point about just women in general, if you are married or single, because even if after you get married, there may be some things that you don't do anymore for your husband, but what about still for yourself? And then when you're single, even if you don't have a mate, that doesn't mean that you can't have soft, pretty things or
light the candles,
honey. Yeah, light the candles and take a bubble bath or whatever, just to make sure that you are focused on the most important person, and that's you.
Self-love should come first
Yes.
because you're teaching other people how to love
Exactly.
you. Because I was good. I'm married now, but I was really good for saying, I was getting my nails done before I met you. I'm getting my nails done every 2 weeks now. Well, I don't do it now. But I was really, good for saying things of that nature because I always loved me. Because at a time when I was, I was born in the 70s, and you didn't see a lot of people of color, my complexion, on TV unless they were the maid or things of that nature. So I learned really early, you need to love you, and you are special and valued. And like I mentioned, so I've always felt that way and wanted to exude that before I got into a relationship. So you can know I love myself, and this is how you're going to love me.
Period.
If I need time for myself or nice sheets or what have you, don't tell me I can't buy an outfit. I was buying nice outfits before I knew you because I love me.
That's right.
And I want to put nice things on myself.
Yes. Well, and that, I think it definitely comes out when you do get married and you're not showing self-love to yourself, because then that person may not love you the way that you love yourself. So I think that comes out in your relationships.
That's a whole
too.
nother topic.
That is a whole nother topic.
Jump in.
Because in between all of those roles, I lost myself each time a new role came into my life. Now I'm finding myself. I continue to find myself each day, each week. But on that journey, I lost myself.
And it happens, and it's okay.
Oh, I did not know.
What
So lost yourself as a wife, and yourself as a mother, and then trying to find who you are again as an individual person.
I don't think it has to be that they're all separate. I just think that you have to be true to yourself in each role. Does that make sense? I'm just learned. So I don't think, in order for me to be, I need to be, pompous in a marriage just to make sure that you understand that I'm loved. I love me. I don't have to do that, but I do have to make sure that in loving me and loving you, that there is fluidity and reciprocation. And I don't have to, because when you get something nice and shiny like a husband or a baby, you just dive into it, but it doesn't mean that you're being bad to yourself, as long as you're still on that.
We are nurturers.
Right. So that's not a bad thing. So then we just need to turn that nurturer's knob towards us too.
I think where I went wrong, I was basing off of what society wants me to do, what my mom did, what my grandmother did. I realized that is not me.
Revelation.
Not me.
And probably, thank goodness.
Yes, that is not me. And once I realize that I can't be them, that I'm an individual, I do things my way.
Yeah.
I have a certain way that I have to do things in order for me to work well.
Self-actualization.
Yes.
In order for you to work well.
And that is freeing. It's very freeing.
It really is.
Yes.
Okay, so it's the last question. What's some of the things you do that's not necessarily, I guess, speaking to yourself or verbalizing to yourself, but action? So me, I jump on my bed. I get back into the little girl, and you taught me that too. Jumping on the bed, coloring. What are some of the things that you do that can help release, the part of you that you may have missed out on because you feel like you lost yourself, the little girl in you, that help you to reflect on the self-love and how much fun it can be diving into that?
When you said I let my little girl play. I don't put her away. She's not back somewhere, and she laughs, she giggles. Laughter is, oh my gosh, she is all over the place. And if you too stuffy to laugh or too holy to laugh, God bless you. But I'm gonna be. I have a good time with me. I have a good time with me. I used to do slumber parties where you could not bring the wife or the mother. You had to bring your little girl. And you had to dress like a little girl.
Aww.
Yeah. We did all little girl things.
Idea.
Yeah.
Pillow fight.
I'm gonna do it. Yes, we did all little girl things, and in the midst of healing, we talked and dealt with the little girl. So yes, I play. I love to have a good time.
Music is for me. Music, dancing, blasting music, dancing when because I drive like hours away sometimes for work, and listen to music the whole way there, whole way back, singing to the top of my lungs. That is good. And when you talk about being that little girl, recently my daughter reminded me, she came and she wanted to play a hand game with me. I was like, first of all, how do you remember? How do you know this? And then I started doing it. So like feeling that all over again, I was like, oh. And then for you to say it, that was just confirmation that that's what I need to do.
It's just so I jump double. Anytime I do anything, the double dutch rope is in the room. We play double dutch. It's pure. I don't care. The bones are gonna hurt tomorrow, but we are going to jump double dutch because I remember those songs. I remember the smell of the street. I remember the sun. Those were freeing times. Why did I have to stop? Because my hair turning gray.
I agree with you. I agree. It's like, when do I want to wear the elastic pants? Right. Somebody tell me.
Because it ain't happening yet.
67. I'm wondering,
It could be never. You won't want it to be.
Prayerfully.
I'm gonna have it on the wheelchair. The level's gonna be on the wheelchair.
I think for me, I have two things. Because I am so extroverted, and I love being around people all the time. Mine is reading, because that's what I used to do when I was younger, and I would just get in a corner and just read a whole bunch of books. And so I love to just sit on the sofa or find a quiet place in the house and just read. And the other thing is being outside. Like, I just love just going outside and being by myself and just hearing the birds chirp and the sun is on me, because it's the only real places where I can just be alone. And I realized that even though I'm totally extrovert and I love people, I kind of like being by myself. I like just, processing things that have happened and just having some quiet time so I can just get re-energized again. So it took me a long time. It used to not like being by myself at all because my mind would just race. It would just go, 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 go. And now I'm more at peace with just my life in general. And so I find that I need that quiet time so that I can give back to others. And I desire it. I long for it, just to be somewhere by myself. And it took me years to get to that point where I'm okay with being alone. I like it.
Too.
When's the next time I can be by myself?
That's big. Be okay to be alone.
Be okay to be alone. You can't ask somebody else to want to be with you if you don't want to be with you.
Exactly.
If you don't want to be, and I did not realize, but I'll go in my house and I'll shut my door. Now my son cannot leave his room, but it's something about when I close my door. This is mine.
Yes.
This belongs to me. This is my time and I had company come over one day, and then they came over day 2, and they do you sit in the quiet like this all the time? Actually, I do. I need to hear what my heart is saying. I need to hear what my mind is saying. I need to hear what's going on inside of me. And if I always have the TV or the radio or something going, or on the phone, I'm not going to know what's really going on inside of me. So I actually do. You should try it too.
Well, I would like to say all the above. I love to dance and sing crazy in the car. I'm looking to the side. They don't know me.
They'll never see me again.
Right. And I'm an introvert. So I like to schedule time out to be more extroverted and be around people, because I can be to myself. And I think it's because I'm a very creative person, and I like to write. I mean, I'm an author. I like to draw. I like to color, do the zine coloring books. But and like you, I'm going to be forever young. The young Cynthia in me, saying in me is, I just let her out and let her play.
Yeah.
So all of the above.
That is so cool. That is so cool.
Lena, what about you?
Oh, I'm a big kid. I jump on the bed. I play the music. I color. I do some very random things that my children can tell you about. I spin in the chair at my desk while I'm working. I hum music. Yeah, it's real interesting. It's really interesting.
But it's freeing.
Yeah,
It's so freeing. We need to. Maybe we'll stop scowling at each other so much if we do that more.
And imagine if we're having this conversation and we all do these things, then you find the ones that they do it, they don't want to say so. So like I said, the space and being in a non-judgmental environment, and being able to be free, remove the shame, all the filters and the fluff, and come together and have conversations about these things is so valuable.
It really is.
That's so true.
It really
And thank you for the opportunity.
Too, so it's capturing everybody right there. I'm gonna make it a little short.
It is?
So everybody can wave.
Come on, Lena, get in.
Oh my goodness, are you in there?
There you go.